Good morning guys, I'm Ronaldin B. Galia, BS Cream 2-3. So, for today's video, itatakal ko sa inyo yung exposure controls and controls of camera. So, simulan na po natin. First, let us define exposure. Exposure is the amount of light that reaches a film, the combined effect of how much light strikes the film, controlled by the aperture of the stop and for how long, controlled by the shutter speed. The exposure required in any situation varies according to the speed sensitivity of the film used. The time that given amount of light requires to create an image of the desired density on an emulsion. And exposure is a balancing act in which you use an exposure meter or light meter to measure the amount of available light, to relate it to the sensitivity of the film, and to express the relationship as a combination of aperture in f-stop and shutter speed in a seconds. So, exposure is the combined effect of how much light strikes the film, and it is use of exposure meter that balancing act, the treating of sensitized materials or film to control amounts of light and also how long of such treatment. And it is a device for indicating correct photographic exposure under varying conditions of illumination. Illumination, that light that comes into a room that shines on something, and also exposure is required in any situation. So, kung gaano kadami o kakonti yung magagamit na light sa correct na image na gusto mo, hindi sa maganda sa mata, kundi ang pagkuha mo sa gusto mong image. So, sabi nga dito, and to express the relationship as a combination of aperture in f-stop and shutter speed in a seconds. Dito naman tayo sa 4 basic exposure controls of an adjustable camera. Number 1, ISO film speed dial. Number 2, shutter speed dial or ring. Number 3, lens opening or aperture ring or focusing ring. So, mag-stay put lang tayo sa number 1 and number 2. Number 1, ISO film speed dial. Combination of shutter speed and F number. This control is utilized by manipulating the ASA dial of the camera. Basically, the shutter and F numbers are both controlling system of the rays of light that enters, reaches, and affects of the film inside the camera. So, yung ISO is a fake light and usually ginagamit siya for exposure. Pag mataas yung ISO film mo or ISO, ito ay magiging maliwanag. If mababa naman, ito ay madilim. So, yung general rule niya, dapat maging mababa lang for 100 or 100 lang. Kasi pag indoor or night time, kung mataas yung ISO mo, magkakaroon ng din yung image mo. Or kung gagamitin mo naman yung 100 ISO, magiging depende na lang kung magiging walang plane yun o mayroon. Number 2, shutter speed control. The length of time needed by the light to reach and after the film inside the camera is restricted by the shutter speed control of the camera. The common shutter speed exhibited in the shutter speed dial are shutter, an adjustable mechanism that regulates the amount of light reaching the film by varying the length of time light is allowed to pass through the lens. 1, 2 at a seconds, 1/4 at a seconds, 1/8 at a seconds, 1/5 at a seconds, 1/30 at a seconds, 1/60 at a seconds, 1/25 at a seconds, 1/500 is a seconds, 1/1000 at a seconds, 1/2000 at a seconds, 1/4000 at a seconds, 1/5000 at a seconds, and or T-B. T for time. Pressure on the button causes the shutter to open. It will remain open until the shutter release button is pressed second time to close it. P is for bulb. When you press the shutter with the setting B, the shutter remain open as long as the shutter pressed down. For long exposure that is usually required in dim places to permit enough light to accumulate to make satisfactory pictures. So, dun muna tayo sa may ibig sabihin ng shutter speed. Yung shutter speed, ito ay kung gaano kabilis yung shutter mo. Kung seconds or function of a seconds. Kung ito naman ay magiging, for example, 1:5,000, 1/5,000 ay magiging, kung ito ay gumagalaw kung yung subject mo ay gumagalaw, at kung mataas ito, magiging dark. Kung stay naman at mababa naman yung shutter speed mo, ito ay magiging bright. Pag long exposure naman ay magka-count lang for 1, 2, 3. For example, sa long exposure, yung trail light or false, yung gumagalaw, yung gusto mo bang maging maayos yung image na gugustuhin mo. So, fast if your focal length is long. And sa shutter speed, dapat yung shutter speed mo magiging double yung frame rate mo. Kunwari, 1:120. So, magiging 1:125 yun. Hindi pwedeng magiging 1:120 lang kasi wala naman ganun sa mga time na yun. So, time. Pressure on the button causes the shutter to open. So, pag napindot mo na yung button, mag-open yung parang lens niya. Yung mag-strike siya, parang ganun. Sa bulb naman, when you press the shutter with the setting B, the shutter remain open as long as the shutter pressed down. For long exposure, that is usually required in dim places to permit enough light to accumulate to make satisfactory pictures. Yun nga yung sabi ko. For long exposure naman, example, trail light and false. Yung magiging long exposure niya, yung magiging time niya ay 1, 2, 3, yung parang ganun lang. And required siya for the dim places. And mapipermit siya for enough light to accumulate to make satisfactory pictures. Kinds of exposure. Between the lenses employs a number of metals that overlap and arrange in a circle. These plates are open and closed pins and movable rings. So itong letter A, parang yung sa may camera, yung mga clip niya, yung click sabi niya, yun yung letter A. So, letter B, focal plane shutter. It consists of light at certain containing a narrow slit which passes across the focal plane in front of the film. The amount of light is controlled by the speed of the certain and the width of the. So, yung focal plane shutter naman parang mag-blur siya sa likod. Yung parang nakafocus lang siya sa subject mo. And, kung yung subject mo ay madilim, magiging maliwanag yun. Kung gaano ka taas o kababa yung light na gugustuhin o makakapture ng camera mo. Yun lang. And thank you guys. Thank you for listening and watching this video. Bye!